So I just adored it, and it's out now, and I highly recommend the audiobook if you want to listen to it on the audiobook route. I'm trying to get out of the sunlight. That's my plan. So we're going to pick this one up, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm oddly excited about it. So I'm hoping to finish this one before, I'm going to throw it on the ground first, and then I'm going to tell you about it, okay? Okay. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with week 2 of Becca's Bookoplathon. So, if you have seen my most recent vlog or any TBR, you guys know that I'm participating in Becca's Bookopoly, and I have completed one singular prompt. So I'm hoping this week will be much better. It is the start of the weekend, so I have not any plans, actually. Like, I have 0 plans for this week. So I'm hoping to get through a good chunk of reading this weekend. We shall see. But we did finish the prompt at the end of last week, so it is time to do another roll. So let's see. Let me set that up again and let's see what happens. All right, so here we are. We landed on people last time, so I'm kind of there. So let's see if the dice is nice to me. Oh, you can't see it. Where did it go? Okay, we got 5. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it is published or set in 1999 or before. Okay, I feel like I could make that work. I'll have to have a think. Okay, so as you saw, I have to read a book that is set or published in and around 1999. So basically anything that was set before 2000, which would be great if I had any historical romances on this list, but I really don't have many on my TBR. But I went through the things that were due recently, like due very, very soon, and on Tuesday, one of the audiobooks that I've got on NetGalley is out. It's for, I think it's called Self-Made Boys. I'll put a the cover here. I believe it's out now, but I do have the audiobook of it, and it goes away in like 2 days. So I need to listen to that and give them my opinion of it. But it's set in like 1922, so that feels appropriate. The idea behind this book is that it is a Great Gatsby remix in the sense of like it's modernized, and also one of our main characters is trans. So we get a LGBTQ plus twist on this, if you will, as well as just kind of a fun retelling. So I, again, have the audiobook of this on NetGalley, so it's like it's like an audiobook arc, but it goes away on Tuesday, so I need to listen to that one. So that's what I'm going to use for this prompt. I do have other things that I have been reading throughout the week and on the side, so we might get to some of those, we'll see. But that's what I'm going to use for this prompt, and I'm going to see if I can do some stuff that requires me to listen, because I don't have like an ebook or anything to like read as I listen, which is what I do like to do, but I don't have that option. So, I mean, I could buy the ebook, but it feels silly since I'm listening to the arc. And anyway, so we'll see what happens there. I might end up getting it because I'm me, but that's my plan. That's the very first roll. I thought about doing a couple just to like see, but I want to go roll by roll and just kind of see how it goes. So that is my plan. That's what I'm going to read, because I really need to get to the audiobook. Because I think, first off, I think NetGalley audiobooks are so cool that like they give you the option to like read e-arcs or read arcs, but like have it in like an audio format. I think that's so cool. And this just sounds really, really good. I don't think I've read anything by this author either, so this will be like a first for me, I believe, and I just want to give it my full attention. So that's my plan. That's my first roll. That's what we're doing. I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. I have like 0 plans. Like I said, just hang out around the house, which is much needed. We've gone places too many times too quickly. So let's see what happens. But yeah, that's my plan. I'm excited I got this in because I really needed to get this book in soon. And so I'm glad that this prompt helps me along.
I know that you're afraid slipping away, and you think back to a time that you were lost. Thoughts disorganized, can't seem to dry your eyes, and chaos is collapsing from your mind. And you say that you're fine, but now you're out of time. Out of time. You're out of time. You're out of time. And now you're out of time. Ooh. And now you're out of time. Never measure up, you'll never be enough. People say tough love, you should just suck it up. And you think back to a time that you were lost. Thoughts disorganized, can't seem to dry your eyes, and chaos is collapsing from your mind. And you say that you're fine, but now you're out of time. Out of time. You're out of time.
Hello! It's been a couple of days and I have finished Self-Made Boys. I did it! So I'm here to kind of talk to you about what I thought about that book and do another roll. So Self-Made Boys, kind of talked about it a little bit when we like I did the roll at the very beginning of the video, but it's basically a remix of Great Gatsby, but like way more diverse and way more inclusive, I guess, without making it unrealistic. So we follow our main character, Nick. I mean, it's got a lot of the same characters as the original, but we follow Nick, who is a trans boy, and he has come to New York because his cousin Daisy has been like trying to get him to come to New York, hoping to kind of give him a better life. And so he comes to New York. I mean, he still lives in the cottage near where she lives. He still meets the Jay Gatsby character, but Jay Gatsby and him create a different kind of bond in this book. And there is a lot of LGBTQ plus representation in this book. We have trans characters, we have male-male and female-female relationships, and I'm sure there's something that I have missed as well, because like I feel like they tried to cover everything in this book, but I really enjoyed it. So I will say, as I usually do with books like this, I am not the person you should be listening to when you like think of whether or not you want to review as far as the diversity rep and stuff goes. I can just tell you how much I enjoyed it, because I am not I wouldn't say I'm the target audience. I'm also not the audience that is like represented within this book. So with that being said, I loved this book. I loved the characters. I loved seeing the diversity, because Nick is a Latinx character as well. So he's got darker skin, and you come to this at the time because it's in the roaring 20s, and that is like a no-no. They have very different views on sexuality, on races, all of that kind of stuff. And so Nick is looked at as being like not as good, especially, I mean, by a lot of people, but especially by Daisy's beau, Tom. There's just a lot of comments that he throws in Nick's direction that is not great. And it's rough. Like, there's nothing on page that's particularly, like, there's no slurs on the page or anything like that, but it is like comments and just very passive aggressive, gaslighting, things like that. That's really rough to read, so just be wary of that, because that is definitely a very big topic within this book. There is a trigger warning or content warning at the very beginning of this book that the author kind of gives to kind of cue you into like all of that kind of stuff that could be triggering for you, so just be wary of that going in, but you will be warned before you start. But I loved it because we still have all of the themes and feelings of like it being the Great Gatsby. It still had this amazing feeling of the roaring 20s and like anything is possible and things like that, which I feel like is very reminiscent of the original classic. So I really enjoyed that. It was really cool, but like on top of all of that, it was a beautiful love story. It was about finding yourself. It was about finding your people. It was about a boy just kind of learning who he is, what he thinks, what he feels. And he has one of the most supportive families I love them so much because like they're not a huge part of the book. I mean, family's very important to him and Daisy, but it's like his parents are not present in the book a whole lot, but they are so supportive. And I love seeing a supportive like parent, especially in a situation like this when you've got a time period that is usually not thought to be as supportive for these things. So I just adored it, and it's out now, and I highly recommend the audiobook if you want to listen to it on the audiobook route. I'm trying to get out of the sunlight. If you want to listen to it via audiobook, I highly recommend. It is, I believe, a non-binary or trans narrator. I believe it's a trans narrator who does the audiobook. Fantastic. I think they did a fantastic job. And it's kind of on voices as well because according to the author's website, the author is non-binary, so you kind of have a lot of just really good rep in this book. And I just loved seeing the story that I knew so well have a totally different twist to it. So I finished that one, and I loved it a whole lot. It gave it 4.5 stars, I think is what I ended up giving it. So now that means I'm going to get out of the light, and we're going to do another roll. I'm so excited. The next roll, we landed right here. So let's see what we have to do. Ooh, 8. Oopsies. Ooh, favorite genre. Ooh, okay, let's see. So we have favorite genre, which I could have done about 10,000 different things for this because I consider my favorite genres to be fantasy and romance. And so there was a few things that were on my TBR that I could have done, but I'm doing something that's not on my TBR because I'm doing a buddy read and I'm so very excited. And that is Hitched to a Gunslinger by Michelle McLean. This is a book that I picked up because my friend Taylor has it and like she put it on my radar. And so I picked it up at like our used bookstore, and we're buddy reading it because it fits for a prompt for her as well. So this is a historical romance, which is one of my favorite genres, specifically historical romance, but just romance in general, I do love. However, I'm not the biggest fan of Westerns, but I'm so interested in this that I feel like we might just like bypass all of that. So I'm currently in the middle of an audiobook for totally like just my normal TBR. But once I'm done with that, then we're going to pick this one up probably tomorrow sometime. And I don't know a whole lot about what it's about, but it's a Western. And like, I'll give you more ideas on what it is once I've read it, but that's my plan. So we're going to pick this one up and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm oddly excited about it. Hello. My lights have died. I don't know if you like this half is working, but this half is not, and it looks really sad. Anyway, unrelated. Hello, how are you? I am here to weirdly enough wrap up this vlog. I need to get this video out for tomorrow, but I am wrapping it up a little bit earlier this Friday because we've got some stuff that we're doing later tonight. We're doing like a live, I'm actually not sure what we're doing, but there's this group that came to Chris's school and they really liked him and they're doing a live show. And so they left tickets for him. So we're going to go to that. So I don't know how long that's going to last. It'll be a late night. So I thought I'd go ahead and wrap up here. I do have updates though, not in the sense of I finished a book, just in the sense of I have thoughts. So as you guys know, I was reading Hitched by a Gunslinger by Michelle McLean. This is, I'm about 200 pages into the book. Goodreads says I'm 60% of the way through. I think I'm closer to like 70%, but I'm loving it. Something has to go terribly wrong in order for me to not give this book 5 stars. So this book, I didn't even give you guys an idea about what this is about. So this book follows 2 different people. We've got a guy named Gray Woodson, and he's called Quick Shot Woodson, and he's a very notorious gunslinger. And he's just looking for retirement. All he wants is to settle down in a little town and like take naps all day and sleep. Like he just doesn't want to do anything. He kind of wants to retire from the gunslinger game. He didn't really get into it on purpose, and so he's just kind of like wants a break. And so he gets into this town and he runs across this woman named Mercy, and she is having a rough situation because her father has recently passed away, so her land is in her name, and there's this guy named Josiah who was really trying to take it from her by any means necessary. He's trying to buy it from her. He's trying to marry her in order to get it. He just really wants this land, and she's very adamant about making him go away. She's like, I don't want to do this. And so Gray just kind of shows up by accident, and somehow they get into a fake dating, fake marriage, fiance situation, in the hopes that him being there and being Quickshot Woodson will make this guy go away. And so it's their relationship. So first off, out of the gate, my two favorite parts about this book was their banter and his horse. His horse is named Birdie, and she is hilarious and gets him into all these scrapes, and she's like kind of the reason that he went to like introduce himself a little bit to Mercy and kind of got the two of them introduced. Their kind of meet cute was about Birdie, and Birdie just kind of really, because she lives in like an apple orchard, like that's her land is a bunch of apple trees, and so like that's her business, is like selling apples and like making things out of apples. And so the horse, of course, really is very interested in the apples and comes over to Mercy, and that's how they get introduced. It's super cute. I love it so much. But their banter is fantastic. And their romance is very believable. And I love the way that this story is going. Again, I haven't finished it all the way, but like everything about the story, I just love. And it's a weird feeling. I feel like I've missed it because the last couple of historical romances I've read are Tessa Dare's older stuff, which is not my favorite thing right now. I think I like her, well, I for sure like her newer stuff versus her older stuff. And so I haven't had like a historical romance that I've like loved, like wholeheartedly am invested, love them dearly, and that's what I get from this. And the weird part about that is that this is a Western, and I don't have any interest in Westerns. This is literally the only book on my shelf that's a Western, and there's something about books set in America on a ranch, books set in like the Wild West, anything like that, cowboys, anything like that, I'm just like, not my thing. So I picked this one up a few months ago because my lovely friend Taylor, who I'm buddy reading this with, she picked it up based on the cover, and I saw it in my used bookstore and said, well, I should just get it because then we can buddy read it together, you know, any reason to buddy read, honestly. And so I did, and we decided to go through it, and she has finished it and loved it. And so we have very similar tastes, and the fact that she gave this 5 stars is giving me a lot of hope. So favorite genre in the sense that it's a historical romance, so that kind of works for this prompt. But again, I am wholeheartedly invested in them. I love them so dearly, and there's just a lot of the story here that shouldn't work for me, but does. And I love it so much. Also, I wasn't a big fan of these much bigger mass market paperbacks, but I'm kind of living for it. I've got 3 in this size, and I feel like if they all were in this size, I might be able to put more on my shelves and the stack instead of like, you didn't need to know that, but these are my thoughts. And so I wasn't a fan of these before, but now I kind of like them. Now that I've got a few and I see how it's going, I do like them a little bit. So this book is amazing. If you like historical romance, if you like Westerns, if you don't like Westerns, I would give this a shot because it's got a lot of things. It's got Marriage of Convenience, it's got enemies to lovers, it has fake dating / engagement, you've got a little bit of caretaking in the sense of like they're caring for each other. Mercy is so, like, my favorite part about this book is that Mercy is so very much strong-willed. She's very headstrong, she knows what she wants, and she's not going to back down from a fight. But on top of that, Gray notices this about her and lets her do her thing. Like, he's not going to step in to, like, save his manly pride. He's like, she's got this taken care of. I'm only going to step in if things get real bad and I need to. So he lets her take care of whatever situation she's in before he even gets involved. She lets her be herself. And I love that so much. There's a lot about this town. This town that she lives in is called Desolation. And so everyone who goes to this town is there for a very specific reason. As of where I'm at now, we know her reason, but we don't know like the town's reasons because there's like a doctor, a preacher, there's a madam, and she's the mayor, which is probably my favorite part of the town, is like the fact that like they have a woman mayor. And like at this time, I don't even know if there's like a year when this is set, but like this is definitely set like before electricity. And so of course women didn't have the same kinds of power or anything like that. Equality wasn't a thing, and so the fact that the mayor is a woman just makes me so very happy. So there's just a lot about the story that I dearly, dearly love. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, this is an age gap. They are 10 years apart, but it's also older because he is 41, and she's about 30. So there is a little bit of an age gap, but they're both on the older side comparatively, because like at this time, you know, women who weren't married by the age of like 20 and having kids were thought of like they were now spinsters. And so I love that there's an older romance here. There's just something about it that I really enjoy. And the fact that like he is significantly older than your most often hero. I don't know if that made any sense. So I really liked that as well. There's just, there's so much about this that I love. So highly recommend this book. Never thought that I would like it. Got it because it was pretty, not gonna lie. And it's amazing. It's the first in a series. I'm not sure. There's at least one more, but I'm not sure it's out yet. And I don't know if there's going to be like continually, there's going to be more. I also don't know what the second one's about. But you bet your butt I'm going to read that one. And I'm also going to investigate what else this author has because I like it a lot. I'm lost for words, clearly. So, no, I have not finished this book yet, but I suspect that I will make some decent progress tonight. I might be able to do it like before Chris gets home. I might be able to do some more before I go to bed, but I suspect that I will be very close, if not finished this before next week's vlog. So I'm hoping to start next week's vlog with a new role. I am also reading other things as well. So like the fact that I read 2 books in this vlog, I read at least 3, almost 4 books in this week. So I am reading other things, but as far as this vlog goes, I'm hoping to do one more role, or the next role at the beginning of next week. So we'll see how that goes, but this is what I needed. I was kind of falling out, I wouldn't say I'm falling out of love with historical romance, but I was going to take a break from it because it's that time, like for me, historical romance doesn't really hit during the fall, which is still true because I am more interested in like thrillers right now, but this has definitely given me more hope and making me want to like gravitate towards my historical romance again. So yeah, it's very, very good. And I will say, only being halfway, it's not as smutty as other things. So if you're someone who likes historical romance but doesn't want the more smutty things, I mean, there's smutty scenes in it, but I would say on the grand scale of like other romances, this is relatively middle to tame. So it's so good. Oh my gosh, I just want to continue reading it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue reading this. So that is this week. It, again, not as great as I wanted it to be. I wanted to have like a whole bunch of different roles, but I'm happy with how my progress is going. I read some things that I really needed to get done. I got an arc done, which was great. I got a historical romance, which I didn't think I was going to enjoy at all. Maybe I was going to enjoy parts of it, but I wasn't sure I was going to like wholeheartedly love it like I do, and it was great. So all in all, honestly, a great week. But that is all I have for you guys today. So please let me know if you have read either of the books that I mentioned in today's vlog. Let me know your thoughts. If you're participating in Bookoplathon, tell me how your rolls are doing. Did you pre-roll? Did you roll as you go? How are they treating you? And if not, then just tell me something that you read this week. I would love to know the reading highlight of this past week. But if you like this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you would like to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there as well as other fun bookish links, so don't forget to check all that out, and I will see you guys in my next video.